And we are back. Couch Company Podcast. My name's John, and with me, after quite a while, Tyler.
Seems like it's been an age.
And how long is an age? Isn't an age a set amount of time?
Yeah, 100 years.
Actually?
I don't know. I always think of an age as like, this is how long a person lives. So it's like the age. Well, actually, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it's like the age of man.
Yeah, age of man. So age of man is around 80.
Yeah.
This is about 80 years.
No. The age of man in like Lord of the Rings is like thousands of years, I thought.
Oh, well, that's just silly.
Or wait, no. The age of man
is when they come to like prominence.
It's the movies. Like we're in the age of man.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like we had the rings and we fucked it up.
Yeah.
And we're getting a text from Calvin and David. Calvin about how long an age actually is, and David about how I'm wrong about. I could
probably research it right now on the spot.
I love leaving it out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure it makes people just...
I think it's a century. It's an age.
I think century sounds good.
It's 100 years.
No, that's too long. Fuck.
For an
All
age?
Right, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Century. Okay, let's go with that.
Enough stuff.
Couch Company, century, final answer. It's locked in. Did you know that a butt is a unit of measurement as well?
A butt.
Yeah, it's like
a buttress.
No, just a butt.
Oh.
It's like a huge container, I think, and they used it for wine. It's like a really big barrel.
How many cubits is that per butt?
About several.
100. About an age.
About an age.
What are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about units of measurement, my friend.
Yeah, and you were worried that, I was worried that, man, after having a couple of weeks off, it'd be like, can we just jump right back in and talk about stuff?
Here's what always happens. Like, you say something like, and I call you out for not knowing what it is, or vice versa.
Right.
It's been an age. And I'm like, do we actually know what an age is? No, we don't.
That was my fault. I should have thought.
No, these are the questions we need to ask. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we learn a lot. And
that should be part of the poll. But like, that's just whatever four answers we think.
I feel like people would cheat.
100%.
I have no faith in people.
People are cheating right now. Someone's Googling it right now.
Well, good for them. They're using their resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, you're on Twitter. By the way, we have a Twitter. We do polls.
Do you remember it?
Out at Couchco Games.
Yeah, nailed it.
So, at Couchco Games, we have a Twitter poll. We do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday usually. And we'd love to hear from you. It's been growing.
Yeah, there's a lot on there.
We hit a record. Our most recent one got a like. That was awesome.
Nice.
I was like,
right.
Yeah, someone like that. Yeah. So go take those polls, man. Those are a good time. We try to come up with interesting topics for that.
It's rather than begging everyone to write in with questions and be like, hey, ask us anything or whatever. Now it's like, we're going to ask you things and then talk about what we think you meant when you voted a certain way.
I know, right? Doesn't that make perfect sense? Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh, of
rings.
course. Wait, what?
We're talking about rings with Lord of the Rings.
Rings. Lord of the Rings. Transition. Speaking of rings, wedding rings are a thing. Yeah. Wedding bands, as they're called sometimes.
Wedding bands, yeah.
Because much like a band, the two are now a group. And they have to work together to entertain.
With a 50% chance of making it big.
Yeah. Wow, that's actually kind of dark.
Yeah.
Anyways, Tyler got married.
I got married.
And congratulations, Tyler.
Thank you.
You must feel pretty good.
I do. I know we were talking about it. So as a peek behind the curtain, we'll get into this later. Like, we actually pre-recorded.
Tyler, there's just no curtain anymore.
Okay.
Curtain's gone.
As you guys are watching
you just see us backstage.
Pulling the levers. We did record an episode that was going to air on Monday, which would have been a couple days after the wedding.
Last Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were recording it, and it was all like, hey, how was your wedding? And it was like, it was good. And this was obviously before I got married. And we ended up just scrapping it because it was just like, look, the wedding, for me, it was a blur. It was like this black hole. And I know a lot of people said that it was going to go fast and you know, you're not going to remember anything. You're not going to be able to eat, all this stuff. But like, holy cow. Like, it was from, I got like 4. I mean, we were taking pictures at like 2:30. So it was all day.
Yeah.
And man, the day was like gone. It was insane how fast it was. I don't remember, and this is nothing, like, it was very nice, but I don't remember, like, people were talking to me, I'm talking to them. I felt myself touching a lot of people, and in a way that I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to show like gratitude, like, hey, thank you for being here, I really appreciate it. So I just found myself like touching people's like arms and backs and like being all like my face hurt from smiling so much. And it's not forced or anything. It was natural.
Yeah.
But then by the end of the night, I realized how sore I was.
Wow.
Just from like, I don't know. Anyway.
Well, you have to be on for 24 hours pretty much.
It was,
Not 24
yeah,
hours,
I mean,
but
it was
12
like,
hours.
I would say 12 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like actually being on, like you can't check out. Like you are the show.
I
dude.
certainly tried to be. I don't know. Like seeing all my family together, seeing all our friends, and honestly, like even meeting some of Chelsea's family. Like there are a few people in town that I heard a lot about, and I just never met them.
Yeah.
Nicest people in the world.
Oh yeah.
So it was just a fantastic time.
That's always the cool thing when the two families like really get to meet each other, right? And that's part of it.
And it's I was because like we're very I would say we're very different, more or less. Like like my family is very I would say like religious and a little bit more kind of like conservative, not in political views, but a little bit more conservative, a little bit more quiet type of thing. And like Chelsea's
old
family's
fashioned,
a little bit more outgoing. Yeah.
Sure.
But it seemed to be like pretty well mixed. Like everyone was talking and enjoying themselves. I had people come up to me and be like, okay, so which one is Steven and this and that? I'm just like, oh, that's really cool. Like, it was just it was a great time.
No, it was awesome as a spectator.
You were having fun.
Oh yeah. It was a really good time. I really enjoyed like the little moments, you know, when we're getting ready together in the room, we're just chilling and like hanging out as friends and stuff. Like that was really cool for me. Yeah. Like the big everything is cool too, but I'm not more about that. I'm more like the small group kind of more intimate settings is where my favorite memories lie. But I was going to say like you sometimes get worried about like big wedding drama, things of that nature. Like something goes wrong, someone gets too drunk and like, I don't know, something embarrassing. Nothing really that I could think of. Like it was really smooth and everything just worked out so well.
I think the quote unquote worst thing, which I didn't even notice, was the DJ came up after and was like, "Hey, sorry about the wind in the like during like Gerard was like officiating for us."
Oh yeah,
and it was like, "Oh, the wind was really bad. It just didn't work well." I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like it was fine. It was super nice.
And it was short too. The ceremony.
Yeah, I think someone clocked it in at like 4-some minutes.
That might be a world record.
Yeah,
yeah. So I was telling Gerard he's going for the WR today.
I think if you take the entire thing, maybe 10 minutes, and that's include like everyone like walking down the aisle and stuff, and then they opened the bar early, which was earlier than we paid for it, and they kept it open later than we paid. Like we got essentially an extra hour out of it, which is insane.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow. I took advantage of the bar.
You seem to be having some fun. We got some pretty good pictures of. Did Chelsea send a picture to you?
Yeah.
It's like a little sneak peek.
It was me, Mike, and John.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty good message. Yeah.
Ashley got a picture and it was like black and white, and it was like you guys were just so animated and smiling and stuff. It was great.
Yeah, that picture's worth 1,000 words. Like you could definitely tell it was a good time. Yeah, so Tyler and Chelsea had this like phone recording thing where you can send him a voice message. It was like an old rotary phone, I guess, or landline phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just pick it up.
Did you have those back in your day, your youngin' days?
No.
I
mean, maybe when I was like a kid, like really young, but cell phones were out pretty much.
Yikes.
Right, anyways, so you can leave voice messages. So I'm sure there's like a million. I know Lindsay was leaving you guys a million messages. I just can't wait for you
Lindsay
guys.
You were like, there were a ton of people doing it. I'm very excited to get that back. We were worried because online they were saying some of the stuff gets censored. So Chelsea, I was like, you have to email these people immediately and tell them not to censor a word. And she was like, okay, I'll email it. And they emailed back and was like, look, unless you ask us to, you're getting it's raw.
Baby. Oh, dude, you need it raw because there's a lot of stuff on there.
Just seeing my nephew pick up the receiver, breathe into it, and then put it down like multiple times.
You should see Zach too. Zach had some classic ones.
My dad left a message. That was the thing, and so I cried every wedding. Everyone knows this. Yeah. That's how I roll.
You almost got me.
Well, it was tough because like there is so many emotions crammed within like a certain thing, right? So like Chelsea's parents came down. And I'm already starting to get choked up because I'm like, oh, I'm getting like a new family, right?
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Like her parents are fantastic. And then I see my parents come down, and again, I'm choking up because I'm like, my first thought is like, oh man, like everyone's much older. Not that my parents are old; they're in good health and whatnot. But it's just like I remember when I still lived with them, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, ugh, like what's going on?
You're right.
And then by the time Chelsea came down the aisle, I was done.
It's over.
Yeah. But the crazy thing is, like, I did a first look with her, and I was like tearing up, but I think there's just too much going on. Like I wasn't like fully in the moment or whatever. So then, by the time, like, I mean, you have Lord of the Rings playing, and she's walking down the aisle.
The Shire theme, I was going to say.
Done, man. It was so good.
You can't not cry.
Yeah.
Like I cried just to that song.
That song alone.
Yeah, you have that. Yeah, you almost got me. I didn't get there.
Break.
So the 2 times I almost cried was obviously Chelsea walking down, realizing I don't have a chance with her.
Yeah.
And then Nate's speech. Mm-hmm. Best man speeches always get me, man. That's the pinnacle of brohood.
And he nailed it, man. I don't know if he was worried with it, or I know he was talking about it. He was like, oh, it's never going to be I feel like he was trying to overcompensate because Nate, it was amazing. Like, throughout
MVP.
Everything, just from the bachelor party for like everything, anything I needed, he was on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, he crushed it. It was funny. Like the interesting thing, and this is something that I want to say my cousins mentioned, where it's like when he was talking, it was like he was saying stuff. I'm pretty sure 90% of the audience had no clue what he was talking about.
Very personalized to you and the friend group.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like the people that I wanted to get that or connect with or whatever did. Yeah, and it was perfect.
It's so. Just so the audience is aware, his speech had a pretty interesting premise where he was really worried about, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it seemed like he was pretty worried about the speech, and he was specifically doing a lot of research on the speech, and that was the theme of the speech, like, oh, you're supposed to do this, and then he did the opposite. It was really good. I really liked how he constructed it and put it together. And then, of course, like the whole GameStop stuff, which really at the core of it is how the friend group was conceived. Yeah,
it's like, I'm not saying Nate and I are the glue, but
it's like Mount Nebo.
Yeah, it's such a
GameStop
weird,
is the glue, right?
Yeah, GameStop would be the glue of our friendship, I guess.
I mean, how many people are, GameStop's in the center, and it's you and Nate and
spiraling out, yeah.
Kyle and Gerard right there, and Zach had a stint there.
Yeah,
our research department had a brief little entanglement there.
He did
as well. Yeah, I am one of the only ones who didn't.
To this day, Zach impressed me more at GameStop than anyone else. When I walked in, and I caught it. It was like he was fairly new, and it was the first time I ever saw him working.
Right.
And some person pulled up like this game, just a random game off the wall, and Zach walked over and was like, oh, okay, you like this game, cool. And he just started like rattling off like, oh, it's by this developer and it's this musician or whatever. It was like the amount of knowledge he had about the people that made said game and other games that they also made.
Yeah.
Not just within the same like universe or whatever. It's not like, oh, I'm not just going to give you a sequel. It's going to be like, oh, if you like this game and this composer, they also did this completely different thing.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed by that. I'm like, that's the kind of employees that GameStop needs to get, of just pure knowledge.
Right. It's right up his alley, right? Like in our Discord, he has a whole news section.
Yeah,
he runs the newsstand there. Yeah. So anyways, that's the birth of the friend group.
Yeah, GameStop. It was overall the wedding was phenomenal. It was over way too quickly, but I'm happy that it's done. We opened a joint checking account.
Yeah, you were telling me.
So that's pretty official. And I walked in, and this is the first time kind of I always say like, hey, I love you, wife, or whatever, because we're still in that stage.
There you go.
But I walked in and I was like, hey, I think, and it came natural. I'm like, I think my wife is here. And I just like smile. I'm like, that
awesome.
Sounds good. I like that a lot. Yeah.
So how true is the statement, happy wife, happy life? Is that pretty accurate?
So far. I think she's
It's
happy.
been a
So I'm
week.
having a happy.
Well, I hope so.
happy life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so far it's fantastic. I'm ready for that next step of like, all right, now like wedding's paid off, like
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah.
And everyone was very, very generous with that. And now we're like, okay, on to the house hunting.
Yeah, I hope you guys get a house so that the couch company can get a
I cannot,
a
dude. I
workstation.
cannot wait. I cannot wait.
That's the dream right there.
Yeah.
Well, minus the gaming house. That's the first dream.
Sure.
Second dream
Sure.
is probably more
Whatever
feasible.
the gaming house falls through, we'll have a.
I think
have
the
a
gaming
room.
house, when you said I do, I think the gaming house fell through, my friend.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
We shall see.
There's always a midlife crisis. I'm coming up on it. What is that? 40?
Well, in a more positive vein, maybe Chelsea would get really into gaming and want to be a part of the gaming house.
There is a better chance that I'm going to have a midlife crisis. If you think I don't have crisis now, just looking at the universe and everything in it,
Yeah, it's true.
I can't wait till I hit 40 and be like, oh, I'm halfway done.
Have you ever gone into like artificial intelligence? Have you been down that rabbit hole?
Not yet.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's not a good one. To
You just put it out. I will be now.
Yeah,
I have a whole weekend.
I know. I'm sorry. Well, I'm really glad the wedding went well. It was a ton of fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. The food was awesome. Like I thought
Yeah,
that
you were
was
saying
good.
Tyler's like, yeah, I was just having wedding leftovers, and it was like really because it was like catering, like buffet style.
Yep.
Right. And usually you get like some pretty mid tier food, but I don't know, it's pretty good. I would say like A tier.
I should. So we had that. We had the
They
phone
had like
thing.
prime
We
prime
had
rib and
Yeah.
a bunch of other stuff. I was pretty hammered. by
prime
that
rib.
point.
Yeah, prime. I mean, it was the perfect food for being hammered.
Oh yeah,
But it
maybe
was,
that's why I have it like higher.
2 types of potatoes with like stuff you can put on top of like bacon, sour cream, chives, all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah.
Pasta bar, so Alfredo.
It was funny. Like I
marinara.
walked up and they were like, I forget what the first thing was, but they were like, "Would you like this or that?" And I was like, "Dude, give me both." And they're like, "Okay."
Perfect.
It was like such a scam, dude. You can't
Yeah.
ask me this or that.
The DJ carried Chelsea's plate and his son carried mine, and he's like, "All right, what do you want?" And I was like, "Buddy, you don't have to." you don't have to-
just
he
let
was
it up.
super nice.
Yeah, that's
but-
awesome. Anyways, speaking of weddings,
Yeah,
there's such thing as a wedding shower. Mm-hmm. Now, if you scratch off the wedding part of that, just the shower, and as everyone
Yes.
knows, that is where Jon thrives. And he gets his
you thrive in the shower.
I get my best thoughts in the
Yeah,
shower.
okay.
Which
Thanks
then
for
we later
clarifying.
realize aren't very good thoughts.
I would say you have a pretty good track record of having decent thoughts. In the
I
shower.
bet probably like 40%,
Okay,
I would say.
I would give you at least 50, if not more. I would say every thought you brought to the couch, I would say is a pretty good thought.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't bring everything to the couch.
Okay, well,
So
way to
some things
cherry
need to
pick. You
stay
pad it
away
out a
from the
little bit.
couch.
That's fine.
And anyone who listens to me is like, man, what is he not bringing to the couch? Because he usually talks about whatever the fuck he wants. All right, so I have a couple things here. Well, this first one. So, do you ever have a dream where this is an episode of Seinfeld as well? They always say like there's an episode of Seinfeld for every situation in life.
Sure.
Did you ever hear that?
Yep.
So there's one where Jerry has a dream and he wakes up and he's laughing hysterically and he scratches something down on his note sheet, goes back to bed, and he wakes
can't
up,
read it.
can't read it.
Yeah.
And then the whole episode is like he goes around like asking people and they say these ridiculous answers. It's
Goes to
really
a
funny.
doctor because they have terrible handwriting.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah. Or
I kind of
pharmacist. Yeah. Anyway,
either.
sure.
I think doctors have worse handwriting than pharmacists.
Right, but the pharmacists have to read the doctor's handwriting. So I think he went to the pharmacist to read. Whatever. It's not important. Go on.
No,
Sorry.
it's definitely not. Anyways, so what I scribbled down, ready for this?
Yeah.
Couch company socks. In quotations, I shouldn't have said that.
Huh.
Now, what am I thinking there? I was dying, dude. I was like, this is the best idea ever. This is so funny.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to come out with a brand of socks with the couch company logo?
Probably
and-
could. I wonder. I'm sure you can get socks custom made.
Oh, of course.
I would love to get some couch.
I've
company.
never gotten socks custom made. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. But
That's
you,
like a
you'd
cool
have
idea.
to go yellow, right? Like you'd have to get like the
So would it be the yellow base with the
yeah,
black
with the
couch?
logo. Yeah.
And then I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't
so you
understand
actually
that
want
either.
that on the sock?
That's what Dream State John
Huh.
wants on the
Okay.
sock. So what probably happened is I was dreaming something, and maybe we're doing the podcast and I said something I shouldn't have said or something.
Right.
Which I always do.
Sure.
And I was like, what if we put that on a sock? It's so weird, man. I don't know.
Okay.
There's probably better not logos, sayings,
Phrases to put on a sock. Yeah.
To put on a sock. Do you even want a phrase on a sock? I feel like you just want the logo, probably.
Yeah, just the logo.
But anyways, Couch Company socks is not a bad idea.
No,
the
I
yellow
think
and
it's
black
neat.
is kind of slick, actually.
Yeah.
I would buy some.
All right.
All right,
I'll look into it.
all right. We got something
The
there.
problem is our yellow, and not to pat myself on the back, but our yellow is like the perfect yellow.
Oh yeah.
In the way that if I put any, and I've been trying, right? Like,
Well, do you remember when you were on the fence about it, and I reassured you, like, no, this is the color.
That's because no one wants to do yellow and black, right? Like, that's just the thing that, like,
Well, back in 2010, when did Transformers come out?
oh, I don't know. That was
Bumblebee
yellow
and
black.
all that.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
That was big yellow and black.
But our yellow, if I put another yellow next to it, and I'm just like, okay, let's try a new background color. It's either like more like cold, like it's colder, and it looks like it's almost like a dead version of our yellow. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
Or it's like too orange. And I think I hit this middle part where like I'm not happy with any other color yellow.
No, I think you hit a good yellow. Yellow's hard to do.
Yeah.
Because like you're saying, it looks like it's like washed out, you know, if it's too light or whatever.
Yep.
And then you get like a neon yellow and your like retinas burn.
Well, I'm trying to put yellow accents all over my desk in my room. So like you like have like yellow computer lights and have the notebook and stuff. And it just...
Did you make your keyboard before we came up with our couch colors?
Technically, yes.
Because a Couch Company keyboard would be
Yeah.
sick, like black and yellow.
I do have black and yellow.
With a couch keycap?
I could do that.
Yeah.
That'd be easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of keycaps.
I did give everyone some keycaps.
Those are so funny.
Just little penises. That's what I did.
Tyler asked us one day, he's like, are you guys all circumcised? We're like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, I was originally going to...
How funny would it have been if like one dude wasn't? And then
Well, that was part of it, is I was going to sculpt... And I came home one day, and I don't want to keep going back to the wedding, but I came home one day.
it's big.
And Chelsea and Abby were like baking pies.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, I know what I'm doing for the bachelor or the groomsmen gifts.
American Pie?
No, I was just like, I'm going to sculpt them all keycap penises.
How do you get from pies to...
Oh, they were just working on the pies. I thought of that.
Oh,
in the
that
parking lot and
was
came in.
extraneous
Yeah,
information.
sorry. Don't worry about that.
Well, the only way you can connect the two is
like
American Pie.
Yeah. No, but
That would have been a good bridge.
that'd be all right. But I was going to do these things of like, I'm just going to think long and hard about each individual groomsman's junk and sculpt what I believe is what they look like. And that very quickly just turned into like, oh, it's very hard to sculpt this. So by the end, I got pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Because like after you do 9 in a row, like you can really kind of get
I'm
it
just
down.
imagining this and it's making my day.
But they're all sculpted. They're hand sculpted, hand glazed, like just they're set.
I can't wait for my mom to find that lying around.
Well,
She'll be
the
like, "What
beauty
fuck?"
was during the bachelor party, I was hinting. I was like, oh yeah, I'm sculpting everyone a keycap or whatever, but I don't know if everyone will like it and everything.
Yeah.
And Jon Harbin, who's like, he's a great guy, right? He's like, oh no, it's gonna be great, man. Don't you worry. I'm gonna put on my keyboard. I'll keep it on there for a whole year. Not a problem. I'm like, okay. And then in my mind, I'm just like, yeah. So then, like, I think the day before, a couple of days before the wedding, I was like, so Jon, like, your word is your bond, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And then that was it.
We all thought you had like a cheeseburger bet on it.
No,
but
I was just
no, it was something even greater.
Now it's on his computer. Yeah.
For a whole year. He might keep it on there forever. He might just say, I love it.
I don't know. It was fun. But what were we talking about?
I was
Shower
talking
thoughts?
about Couch Company socks.
We
Anyways,
should do Couch Company socks.
so I created I have the outline of a little, not like a jingle, but like a Couch Company, like a theme.
Okay.
Something like a little theme. What would you call that? I'm like blanking on what you would call that.
Like
a transition.
jingle?
It's like a jingle, but it's short. It's very short. It'd be like 10 seconds.
Okay.
I guess a jingle could be 10
it's
seconds. So that's in the works.
You gonna sing it or you?
No, I'm not going to sing it.
Oh, okay.
But because I need to loop myself because it is with the voice.
Oh.
So it'd be 4 voices.
So you're gonna do 4 voices, loop them all together.
So you know the thing where you can sing a part and then you hold that and you move on to the next part.
Yeah.
I guess it's a looper or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I need for that.
Okay.
But that's
big on TikTok.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. I'm actually excited for that.
We'll
I don't
put
know what
that-
we're going to use it for, but
We could put that in the transition. So like, eventually there's going to be ads in the middle of this. So we put that in, goes into the ad, and it comes back.
oh, that would kind of be perfect because
Yeah.
it sounds like a little bit like a radio.
There you go.
96.8.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right, so that's something I was thinking about. So I was getting this first starting stages of that in the shower. Okay, and then here's the real big topic. Ready for this? So I was in the shower and I'm thinking to myself, why
Is this all the same shower?
probably not because we haven't recorded
Yeah.
so
Okay.
long.
All right. Go on.
Yeah, in my 2-hour long shower. I feel like you can have like 3 of these thoughts.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I only have 1 thought per shower. So it's 1 in the chamber.
Yeah.
It's like that game in Call of Duty. You remember? 1 in the chamber?
Yes, I do remember.
I was
that.
really good at that game.
One in the Chamber is very good.
Yeah, it was a fun game. Anyways, why is it easier to destroy something than to create it? Not only physically, but you see this mirrored throughout a lot of other aspects of life. In relationships, you can destroy a relationship in 1 action,
Yeah.
in a couple words,
Yep.
1 fight. But it takes
You
so
can
much
kill
time and
someone
effort.
instantly,
Right.
Versus like
Go to
people
jail.
try to
You can
have kids
destroy
all the
your
time.
life
Yeah.
much easier than you can create your life. Like create a good life, I guess. You can
Sure.
ruin everything. But also physically, it is much easier to destroy a building than to create it.
Yeah.
Why is that? There's got to be some sort of universal theory on like this.
This is a good one. I
You
don't
like this one?
Yeah. I wish. That's a good question. I like. How much of that is based off of like our society, though? Right.
Okay.
So I agree with you. I think it is much easier to destroy things than create things. But maybe it turns into something where it's like, creating things brings a sense of joy, purpose, accomplishment, stuff
Right.
like that. So if it was easy to do that stuff, maybe you wouldn't get that sense and then we would create less. I don't know.
Well, I feel like we're naturally inclined to create things as humans. We're very good at that, and that's like our instinct, I would say. But I mean, we're also very good at destroying things as well.
I was gonna say
That's the polarity of it, right? That's the yin and yang of it, where it's like we're very good at both.
yeah,
But one side of the spectrum, like you would think in an even world, in an even universe,
right.
it would take the same time to create something as it would to destroy something. It's balanced, right? But it's not even close to. Now, I did ask my friend this, and she's smart, and
Yeah.
I think she's getting her doctorate in
Psychology.
biochem.
Oh, okay.
So she gave me a scientific answer where destruction is chaos,
Yeah.
and the universe's natural state leans towards chaos.
Sure.
You just look. I mean, you know more about the universe than me. You look at all those videos, but all the black holes and shit. And
Well, I mean, I
you
guess
know.
it's all point of view, right? So if you're looking at, and this is just me playing devil's advocate, but if you're looking at stuff on like, okay, it's you destroy it.
Yeah.
I guess my thing is like, what are you creating? So for everything that you destroy, you're creating other things. So for instance, if you want to take your example of
You're talking about like conservation of matter. Like you destroy a house and now you have a pile of rubble.
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, yes, that could be one.
Right.
But I guess my thing is like, okay, you're destroying a building.
Yeah.
How many jobs are you creating? Or you destroyed a relationship because you screwed up.
Oh, I see.
What opportunity did you create? Like, if
Like a
I
cause and
if I
effect.
screw up with Chelsea, now I create an opportunity for you to swoop in, right? So something like that, where it's like you're always looking at it like kind of with destruction, maybe like kind of like right on your nose.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of right in your face.
Yeah.
But long term, it might be creating things that you don't even know about. And again, I'm not saying that's easier or harder or whatever, but how much destruction is pure destruction and how much of it is just kind of repurposing something into a new thing?
Yeah, I think there's definitely something there. So you look at like some more notable destruction that's happened throughout the course of history, and very quickly new things are implemented and created that make it a better place, I guess, or a better system, or whatever the case may be.
To either prevent a subsequent destruction or bad thing that has happened. Yeah.
Exactly. So, that you kind of think back on and you're like, wow, I can't believe that we didn't have that in place initially. It took that destruction to reveal what was wrong with things, which I guess. I mean, trial and error, cause and effect has always been a big part of what we do as well.
I like the chaos theory. That's a good... the
chaos theory is pretty good. I mean, you look at atoms,
she's a smart cookie.
And everything like that. They're kind of moving all over the place.
And you have some deep thoughts in the shower.
But, I mean, aren't they structured, though? Like, you look at molecular structures, and we can identify what things are, right? I mean, I don't know. It's not randomness.
It depends on what... Like, do you believe in God? It's really what that kind of boils down to.
Is that where we always
right?
end up? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So I was very curious about that topic. It kind of goes into as well, like, is it easier to be bad than good, right? And I feel like that's kind of mirroring the same idea. Or you look like the news, right? And like all the stories are bad because it's like, I guess we gravitate more towards that.
Well, that gives the most ratings, right? Like not even ratings.
Well, we gravitate towards it. Why is it more entertaining for us to hear something bad? Like a car chase is more entertaining than a tree planting.
Yeah, or like a puppy got adopted. Or whatever. Yeah.
Well, actually, cute puppy video or car chase? What do you think would get more views?
Let me put it this way: which is going to run its course faster, a cute puppy?
I will say this: chase? The YouTube overlords. You search one cute puppy video, you will not get that out of your feed for months.
That's all right.
I swear to you.
There are worse things.
Try it. That's actually a good prank for your friends.
I don't have to try. You spoke it, so now my phone's going to be like, no, I'm on it. Don't worry.
Don't worry,
automatically.
Guys. That's a good prank for your friends. Like, look up a couple animal videos.
You can't knock off all my Seth Meyers and Russell Brand.
Oh, wow, dude. Man, what was it? That late night shit is it's so rigged. Like you see like Jimmy Fallon get like 15 million views a day, and it's so disgustingly rigged. Like they have to be paid off or whatever, dude. It's
I don't like
so
any
stupid.
late night host except Seth Meyers. And I only like his closer look stuff. That's all I watch. I watch the 10, 15 minute clip.
I like Conan.
He's fine. I don't...
I mean, I don't watch any of their shows, but I do like Conan as a personality. I think he's actually funny. A lot of these other guys are not funny.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Jimmy Fallon is like actually funny? I don't think anyone thinks that.
Jimmy Fallon's actually my least favorite out of everyone at this point.
Yeah, I feel like he's gotten progressively worse as well.
I'm again very biased. Seth Meyers makes me laugh out loud the most out of all of them.
Yeah.
Even Conan and everyone. Like he's just.
I don't watch
funny.
a lot of Seth Meyers, so. Yeah. But anyways,
that's how I get all my world news. My very biased left leaning world news. Yeah.
I was on the phone talking to my friend, and I was like, or no, I was texting. So I was texting, and I was like, hey, we were talking about music, and I was like, do you like the Red Hot Chili Peppers? And she was like, yeah, they're okay, and blah, blah, blah. So we were talking about that, and I was like, yeah, they were on like that carpool karaoke thing, and that was like such a funny episode.
Oh, okay.
Carpool karaoke in my feed.
Yikes.
Like hours later. I was like, this is so gross.
What can you do? There's nothing. Like, you can't do anything.
Go to another platform for videos that doesn't exist.
I don't even know about that. Like it's beyond.
Well, the thing I hate is that it's like, okay, if carpool karaoke, well, that's not a good example because I think that actually is pretty popular. But like, if Jimmy Fallon was actually that popular, then fine, yeah, he's blown it up. If he was like the new Mr. Beast, I guess he was before Mr. Beast, but still, all right. If he was like a Mr. Beast, that's fine, but it's not. It's like this is artificially boosted.
Yeah.
Like, how many times do you see it on the front page or in your feed?
Yep.
And how many people click on it just because it's right there and they have like clickbait head title?
It's the only way to do it is get viral, and then suddenly that's it. Like, you're set.
Well, someone like Mr. Beast, dude, like he started from the ground up. I don't know if you've ever seen, you know him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he started with these crazy videos where he would like film himself counting to 1 million. And it was just like 20 hours, like a 20-hour video.
That's insane.
Yeah. And he would do these crazy challenges like that. And then he just blew up. And now he is what we see. Like, you know what I mean? That's like natural. Like, people like him. They're interested in that.
Well, did you see the kid that every kill he got in, I think, Call of Duty or whatever, he puts a rave on, like a mini rave in his room with like fire and lights and stuff. So he kills somebody. And I guess he killed like another Twitch guy.
Yeah.
And they were looking at him. And he was like head banging and like slamming on this like fire thing or whatever. And he had more views than like any like big Twitch guys.
Yeah.
Just for like a day. It's like here's your 15 minutes of fame, I guess. I don't know.
Man, right place, right time is so crazy.
You just have to have that gimmick that's
Well, I have a theory about this. You either have to be the best or one of the best. Okay. People are gonna watch you because they want to learn from
like
you.
a technical ability. Yeah.
You either need to be extremely entertaining. So I guess gimmick falls under that category.
Well, maybe not. Like, entertaining would be
You're funny.
people are drawn to you, just they come across you, whatever, and it's just
Like,
a good time.
PewDiePie is just extremely entertaining.
Yeah. A gimmick to me, gimmick is like, oh, this person always wears a cat suit.
Yeah, like Disguised Toast always used to wear his like toast hat.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and you didn't know who he was.
Right.
Now he's just like normal dude, but that was his gimmick at first, and then exactly. So yeah, I feel like those are the three probably main ones.
Sure.
Yeah.
The three paths to fame. Here
and
you
then
go.
you're the couch company.
Then you're couch company.
Or you have a couch. You make couch references.
Comfy couch. Yeah.
We should do top 5 couches in entertainment.
What?
Blue's Clues couch.
Yeah. Friend's couch.
Friend's couch. Which Friend's couch?
It doesn't matter. All
Central
of them.
Perk.
Central Perk.
That's got to be the main one.
The pivot couch.
That's
the one where Ross and Chandler snuggle up on. There's a lot.
I feel like the Central Perk couch wins,
it's going to be the most.
though, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. What were we talking about?
I don't know. Couches. All right, that was my shower thoughts. There you go.
Those are some good thoughts.
That's all you get today.
You went the like, hey, this is a really deep thought, to, hey, I shouldn't have said that. Socks.
I don't know why I shouldn't have said that. Socks.
You leapfrogged from that to like a very
like there's a little button on it. It's
internal
like,
thing.
I shouldn't have said that. And then like a laugh
good.
track. I don't know.
I feel like a couch company tie.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I like the socks.
Socks, I think, are the better.
I see.
bet.
My thing is, and I'm holding up my sock right now. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it would be black with yellow logo and then yellow tip. Yeah.
I think that's the better
or you
looking
could,
sock.
You could just have both and then like invert the colors.
Invert it,
yeah. I don't like maybe like a black tip though. That kind of seems weird to me on your toes.
Yeah. I mean, you're never going to see the tip.
So maybe like the solid yellow color would just be all yellow and then the logo's black and stuff.
We'll talk. I will find these socks and I will get them.
We should see if we get custom made socks.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
I'm sure we can.
All right. Speaking of socks, we got some polls to go over.
Yeah. Are you going to change the order of the polls just to get that transition?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. There is one about socks. All right. So our first poll, we have a Would You Rather Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And again, this is at Couchco Games.
Yes.
So our Would You Rather Wednesday, we have like 1 million piled up, so bear with me on this. I can't find it. There it is. Okay. So our Would You Rather Wednesday on 4-6.
Wow, it's been a while.
This was a bigly voted one.
Bigly voted.
Yeah. Would you rather have a pebble stuck in your shoe all day or a wet sock all day. The stipulation is you cannot dry your sock or remove the pebble. Like it's in there.
So here's the thing. Then by that logic, it's you have to have a discomfort all day.
Yes.
Right?
It's literally which discomfort is worse.
Yes. Okay. Continue.
If you want to think of it that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound as good, but yes, that is what it is. So, wet sock versus pebble in shoe. Pebble in the shoe, so this is what they would rather, which means they're more comfortable with this state of being. 30 people are more comfortable with the pebble in the shoe.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Wet sock. It's not insane. I would do pebble in the shoe as well.
What? You would rather walk on a
Have you ever had a wet sock, man? It is the worst feeling ever.
But a pebble in your shoe, you can't walk. You're hobbled.
I don't care.
You can at least walk normally with a wet sock.
I don't do a lot of walking.
You can run. What if you're getting chased and someone's about to mug you?
They picked the right day.
Because you can't run. You're just gonna hurt your foot.
Yep.
All right.
You're gonna hobble.
For me, it would be like the wet sock.
24
you're running,
hours
you're
of
leaving
a wet
puddles of
sock.
water. Maybe your mugger slips and falls, hurts themselves. Maybe you mug them.
Midnight starts and you have a wet sock. I do not want a wet sock in my bed. That sounds like the worst feeling in the world. It's 24 hours.
I would say...
No. It's 24 hours, my friend. You have a wet sock in your bed, unless you don't plan on sleeping.
But how is that fair?
Why?
Because you're not going to have... Like, the whole point is a pebble in your shoe.
Yeah.
When you're not going to have a shoe on.
You have shoes on in this scenario, too.
Or you're just going to wear shoes to bed?
Yeah.
That's
so
stupid.
that sucks, too.
No, it's better to have a wet shoe then.
A wet shoe?
Yeah, or a wet sock, because your shoe's covering it up. That's fine.
No, it's
not in bed.
The whole sock's wet. It's a soppy sock.
Yeah, that's all right.
Soppy wet sock.
Maybe you have like waterproof boots and just contains all the moisture.
Do you get to pick your footwear? That's an interesting development. I would say it's your normal everyday shoes.
It would have to be, because otherwise you'd have like a sandal or something.
Yeah.
But like, name a footwear that would be better to have a wet sock than a pebble.
I just would rather have a pebble. I mean, there's a lot of factors here. How wet is the sock?
How big is the pebble?
How big is the pebble? What is the unit of measurement of wetness?
I mean, it would probably just be sopping wet, you said, right? Like it's saturated.
Isn't there has to be a unit.
It's saturated. I don't know.
Like viscosity is for
when you say wet sock, I'm thinking I just went down the Pittsburgh plunge and I hate my life.
Oh, God.
Which is
so when you walk, it feels like a swamp.
Yeah.
That's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah, but that's typically just because you're completely drenched.
Yeah.
If it's just your shoe, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Wet sock is so bad.
I don't want to walk like I have a limp because I can't put pressure on my
feet are going to be like so pruned. It actually might be more dangerous for the wet sock.
Well, I feel like you can't.
Depending on how wet it is, imagine having your foot submerged in water all day. Your skin's going to fall off.
Yeah, but you're not. It's a wet sock. Like, worst case, you chafe a little bit.
A little bit. If you're walking around all day, if you're running from this mugger that just happens to be mugging you on today.
Yeah, okay, but then you're also running in a pebble. What's a sharp pebble? It just goes into your foot?
Yeah.
You have to cut your foot off now.
I have to cut my foot off.
So either way, you're losing a foot.
You're not going to get an infection from one day.
What if the pebble's small enough that it gets into your bloodstream? Causes a clog or something, and then you have a heart attack.
I got very unlucky, man.
I don't know. You don't get that with a wet sock. I don't know.
Might get. I'm sure I can name a scenario where something that disastrous happens with a wet sock.
I don't know.
All right. Anyways,
yeah,
so twice the amount of people voted for Pebble. I just want you to know that you're against everyone.
Yep.
All right. We had the archery contest.
Yeah.
So, who would win in an archery contest? We have 4 contestants. We have Legolas, we have Robin Hood, Green Arrow, and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
The winner is Legolas.
Yeah.
It was really funny. So Jeff posted a GIF
of Robin Hood.
Robin Hood, like from the Disney movie, and I was like, "That's a pretty sick shot," because he like shoots an arrow out of the air and then it splits an arrow in half. So that's like 2 myths in one. I was like, "That's pretty good."
So on our last episode that we recorded
Yes.
and ditched, we did talk about this. I think Green Arrow should win this.
Yeah, after Tyler's like apparently he's a huge Arrow fanboy, like the CW show, which is bizarre. But
I guess.
I was saying Legolas, wasn't I?
I would assume so, because you're using this like mystical, like, oh, he's 1,000 years old.
Oh well, yeah. Well, your argument was this guy trained on an island for years, and then I was like, yeah, and Legolas trained for like thousands of years.
Yeah, but my thing was like,
Whatever.
I have yet to see Legolas pull off a 6 shot.
The surfboard shot, that was like 6 shots.
But that's
in one.
not. Yeah, but that's not a 6 shot.
It's a 6 shot.
How?
You're sliding down, like the physicality required to do it in the first place is
Sure, but what I'm
crazy.
saying is you've
and
seen
then
Hawkeye,
headshotting everyone.
but you've
at the
seen
same time.
Hawkeye and Green
Have you
Arrow
seen
do the
Hawkeye's
same
bow?
thing.
I'm pretty sure it's heat seeking.
Yeah.
That's cheating.
Look, man.
In
it's
this archery
cheating.
contest, it is just a bow and arrow, classic style.
Okay, but you still have like your elven senses and your elf vision.
Yes, and you don't think that gives him an advantage?
Well, yeah, but like that's cheating.
You don't get your boxing. No, it's not. It's part of
Cheating.
him. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
So it's cheating for me in the Olympics if I'm just a better athlete than you?
No,
if I
but
was
that's
born,
that's my point.
That's cheating. Your parents were runners.
But what I'm saying
that's
is-
not that can't be allowed.
The whole point is the fact that Legolas has never seen a gun,
Yes,
never seen a bullet, never gone up against bullets. He would get murdered in 2 seconds.
debatable.
Meanwhile, you have Green Arrow, and to some extent Hawkeye. I just think Green Arrow is better.
Yeah.
You have Green Arrow, who is literally like dodging bullets as he's shooting, like you mentioned boxing glove, like he's like shoots a boxing glove and has a cool boxing glove and knocking someone out, and then is shooting stuff. On Smallville, he literally shot it, and this can,
Yeah.
and Lois Lane, who was dating Green Arrow at the time, it's a whole
Whoa.
thing. I know. She sets a can down. She's like, all right, hit this can and
Yeah.
I'll go on a date with you or something.
Yeah.
And he shoots it and misses the can,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And she's like, ha, I knew it, and like walks away. And then you look, and he shot the tab off the can, and the tab's just spinning on the arrow, and he kind of like smirks as the episode ends. I'm just saying, Green Arrow is kind of a badass when it comes to a bow and
I think
arrow.
Robin Hood shot's better than that.
Shoot, yeah, but you can do, like, Green Arrow can do that too.
No,
I
he
don't know.
can't. Has he
Sure
ever done
can.
that?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I bet he has.
I think Legolas can do
He
that
has,
too.
like,
I think what we're learning here too is Legolas is not a show off. Okay.
Sure.
So these guys, their ego would get in the way too.
Robin
Where Legolas,
Robin Hood's ego, for sure.
you don't think Green Arrow has an ego? Trying to shoot the top of the
Green
can.
Arrow's like this
Yeah, he
moody
does.
guy
Nah.
or whatever. I'm not going
Got
by.
an ego.
Look,
him and Hawkeye are essentially the same character,
I
and
don't like Hawkeye.
me neither.
I like Jeremy Renner. I don't like Hawkeye.
I don't like Hawkeye either. He's so boring.
Yeah.
I heard his new show was good though.
Yeah, but
Did you watch it?
People said Loki was good too, so I don't know.
I think Loki was great.
It was okay.
Owen
Owen Wilson was fine.
About you like wet socks.
I know. That's the thing is, can you shoot with a wet sock? Whatever. So fine. Legolas wins. Congratulations,
wins.
Elf. It's 1,000 years old.
You really don't like Legolas.
No, I think he's boring. You think
Yeah,
you
he
think Hawkeye's boring? I would argue Legolas is more boring than Hawkeye. Prove me wrong. Go ahead. Like, we talked about this on the episode
Yeah, I
too.
know.
Legolas missed
after
how many shots.
rewatching all of the Lord of the Rings, I'm like, you know what?
Extended editions. Hey, let's add an
I
hour and a half of content.
think-
None of it's Legolas.
I just remember Legolas being so much cooler when I was younger.
Yeah, because he surfed down a thing that one time
Yeah.
and he shot an elephant in the head. Oh,
Well,
and he
and,
also
and
he
the-
flipped up on a wolf or
the
whatever.
Fellowship, he goes wild in that fight. That's the first fight we see him. It's kind of just it's just headshot. Like it was pretty sick.
But what I'm saying is
That's a well shot scene.
I'm just, if you take his action scenes and you put them against Green Arrow's
Legolas has the
action
best
scenes-
content. He's got the best movies.
Okay, well that's
Yeah,
not fair.
well, I'm just saying.
Not because of him,
partially because of him.
barely because of him.
No, he's part of one of the best trios of all time.
Tell you what, you take Green Arrow,
Yeah.
and put it in Lord of the Rings, and you get a better movie.
No, you don't.
But if you take
get a
Legolas-
movie where you're asking why this guy's in green tights.
But if you get
the fuck's
Legolas
going
and
on?
you put him in Arrow,
Yeah.
it's a worse movie.
It's not a movie.
And I like Orlando Bloom. I just don't. I don't know.
Nah, I don't think you're giving Legolas enough credit.
I don't think you're giving Oliver Queen enough credit.
I love Green Arrow.
Yeah,
But
clearly.
of course, my Green Arrow comes from the animated show.
Yeah.
That's his best version, where he bangs Black Canary. I think that's all versions actually.
They marry. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
I think you need to give Arrow a shot. Have you seen Arrow?
No.
It's very good.
Shows,
He's very good.
I saw a trailer for Supergirl once, and
Supergirl's not good.
threw up in my mouth.
Supergirl's not good.
Yeah.
Batwoman's not good. Flash is no, I don't really like it.
That's what I'm saying. Why should I watch Arrow?
No, Arrow's on a different level than all of them.
Yeah,
they are like whatever it is. I'm just saying.
Watch the Arrow. Tyler's not getting paid for that. All right, we had another Would You Rather Wednesday. This is 413.
Yep.
Would you rather meet an alien meet an alien or talk to animals?
Yeah.
And not surprisingly, very surprisingly, double the amount of people would rather talk to animals.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's different than where it was. When I posted that, I was like, I would love to meet an alien.
These are the most recent results from our research department.
Yeah.
Who tallied them all together.
Changed. That was a swing.
A little bit of a swing there. I don't know what I would do because I was away for this one. I would rather talk to an animal because I'd be scared to meet an alien.
Yeah, and I guess meeting an alien could mean all sorts of things. Maybe people are justifying it like, well, yeah, just because you meet an alien doesn't mean you can actually communicate with it or whatever. Like you just wave.
But let's assume that you can still. It's like could be a mean alien.
Yeah,
I don't know. When you get into that,
it could be a mean animal.
Yeah, but I have a better chance of talking an animal down than an alien.
Yeah, but don't you think? So let me put it this way. And this is going to get a little dark.
Uh-oh.
If you want to take the alien, like a mean alien out of it, what if you talk to animals and animals are like the most depressing, like, hey, why am I a captive of you? Or why do you leave me every day or whatever?
Oh.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is like, who knows what animals I don't
know.
Think,
my dog would probably say, why don't you feed me more than
yeah, like why are you starving me?
Then I can finally explain to my dog, like, you're going to die if I feed you more than I do.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it would be worth talking to an alien.
Talking to your pet would be awesome. You don't want to talk to Superman?
Sure. That's why I put
which is your cat, not the...
Yeah.
That's for the audience.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't mind talking with them, but I don't know. Like,
then you can finally be like, hey, why do you eat cardboard, man?
I don't even care about the cardboard. It's the tape and the plastic.
Oh,
why do you eat plastic?
Then it could be like to fuck with you.
You got sick multiple days in a row.
See, exactly. You could learn a lot.
I get that. And if you're being practical, I would say it's probably easier to make money talking to animals than anything else.
Yeah.
Like look at Babe, right?
Babe.
But
yeah.
But you would have a lot more renown. You would have a lot more renown if you met an alien and had some sort of knowledge. Does everyone know
you met an alien?
Yeah, have some sort of knowledge. Be like, oh, hey, by the way,
you're assuming these aliens are friendly.
I'm trying to take the best of everything.
Okay, everything's based off of our experience, right?
Yeah,
in some form or another. Let's imagine that many years ago when the world was not colonized.
Okay,
what happened when fancy people went to a new land with less fancy stuff? Not good things.
Sure.
Who's to say that the aliens wouldn't be the same way? They would see us as uncivilized.
They could be, but the way I'm looking at it is this is a personal experience. So I feel like if
a bad experience is still experience.
Well, no, right. But what I'm saying is if aliens came with ill intent,
it's not going to be
just you.
It just says you meet them.
Yeah. Okay, it just says you talk to them. Doesn't mean that that animals talk back.
Also, something interesting to point out here is you get to meet the alien once, I'm assuming, right?
Sure.
You get to talk with animals forever.
Sure, but it doesn't mean that animals talk back to you.
But that means we could.
I'm just saying, if we're going to nitpick around, if we're gonna give all these.
That's just normal.
I know.
Then what's the bull?
Well, that's the whole. Gotcha. No, that's what I'm saying is if you're going to put all the little nitpicky things on, it's like, well, the words.
It says meet an alien. When you say you meet someone, what are you saying? Every Thursday we meet someone.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, well, you meet an alien every Thursday. That spices it up a little more.
Man, it's only like 12 characters you can put on these polls.
I know.
What I'm saying is, it's this cordial, like, hey, this alien imparts wisdom to you, or you talk to an animal. But
a majority of people said
clearly
animal.
They just want the animals. Nobody wants to.
You're really against the grain today.
Yeah, no one wants to improve civilization. My bad.
I'm surprised because usually you're the one who's cautious and reserved, and I'm the one who's like, oh, but Tyler, it's, and everything like
But
that.
it's an alien. I don't know.
I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on.
You fear the unknown.
It's very scary.
If you meet it, now it's not unknown anymore. Now it's like, oh, there is something out there. Oh, there is this out there.
Well, the unknown of speaking to an animal, there's an unknown element to that, but I know more about what I'm getting into. I've seen animals my whole life.
Yeah.
I have context clues based off their emotion and responses to things, right? So
Right.
I have an idea of what they're thinking, but now we're getting clarification. I think it'd be cool. I'd probably become vegan very fast, or vegetarian, I should say.
Instantly. Yeah.
As soon as first cow I talked to, I'm like, fuck.
Hey, how was that wedding prime rib? Was it pretty good?
Just eat chicken.
Yikes. Yeah.
All right. Next up, all right, so now we're back on actually, we did our super fight episode, which was our last episode.
Right, yeah.
And I know, I'm just exciting you about this one. This is the exciting part.
Tired. Yeah.
Because the audience voted that Tyler and Jon
Yes.
beat Nate and Jeff.
I feel vindicated.
Yep.
Also, going up against Doctor Who seems kind of...
I think we won
unwinnable.
because we had more entertaining reasoning. But again, we had to because we got absolutely abysmal matchups.
I was listening to that episode again, and I forgot that the whole fight was done in a sandstorm, and we barely mentioned that.
Yeah, but you start adding
like
all
that.
those cards, and
Yeah.
it's like you start forgetting some of them. So I think you got to do that a little sparingly.
That was a fun episode, though. I
Well,
enjoyed it.
Nate had a really good idea. We were talking about it, and a better way to do things would be to pick your opponent's character.
Yeah.
And then you get to pick your own ability to
Bolster it.
consolidate. Yeah. But if you're picking your opponent, you're going to try to pick the worst one or whatever, and then it should be more even, right?
Sure.
In theory. Because what was
in
happening
theory,
is
yeah.
like, what you got the one...
One Punch Man.
Yeah. what was that one? Like a bald character or something?
No, it was a TV character.
Oh, TV show. Yeah. Talk about just like, Superman, One Punch Man, like anything you want.
Do you think One Punch Man beats Superman?
Okay. Here's my argument with this.
All right.
Because in the anime community, it's always like, does Goku beat Saitama, who's One Punch Man?
Right.
And I say no,
Which I agree with you.
because the whole premise is he wins in one punch. Until I see him have to throw more than one punch,
Yep.
I am always picking him over everyone.
Yeah.
Now, I will say Superman, Goku, they have had way more impressive feats than One Punch Man. I totally concede that. But I've seen both of them lose. They have to
Yes,
throw
they've
more than
been
one
defeated.
punch. That's what I'm saying. This
Yeah.
guy's undefeated.
Yep.
All of his bouts last 2 seconds. Like, you can't. It's his premise. It's how he's written. It's
I'm
not
still
fair.
waiting to see him bleed. Superman's bled. Goku's bled. Like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. His greatest challenger was a mosquito that he couldn't catch.
And
That's what I'm saying.
now, like again, in terms of amazing feel, like Superman punched a planet and stuff like that. Completely get it.
You have
But-
Goku like fighting so hard now that he's like splitting reality and jumping through universes.
Right.
So until I see otherwise, Saitama beats everyone.
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah. So
I love One Punch Man. It's very
it's
good.
very good. David's been reading the manga. He says it's really good.
Yeah.
He's about to fight Garo.
Finally.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a big thing. It's like a big matchup.
Good.
Yeah. All right. We're on to this week's polls. We have 2 this week.
All right.
Favorite zombie game series. I picked 4 of these. And there's a bunch of zombie game series. And what I might do in the future is pick more, do a couple more polls with zombie game franchises, and then the winners of those polls combined into a final kind of poll.
Makes sense
Yeah.
for something big like that.
Anyways, I tried to pick the 4 like best I could think of. I don't know. Maybe I'm leaving something out, but I had Left 4 Dead, Dying Light, Last of Us, and Resident Evil.
Some good ones.
Left 4 Dead won. And I'm a little surprised because I would think Resident Evil should win.
Resident Evil has more.
Yeah.
Well, I can't even say it's not. Like, I mean,
You
The
have
last few Resident Evil games have been bangers.
Resident Evil 4, fantastic.
Yeah.
You have the OGs, which I don't know if you're big on, but like
4 was really
2
when
was
I
very
played it.
good. I think 3 was good as well. 4 was very good.
And they remade those.
But yeah, exactly. We didn't even get to the remake of 2, which is incredible.
Yep.
I don't think the remake of 3 did as well. But
it did well, but it was just like, yep, it's
yeah,
like I
what
don't
we
know.
expected.
Yeah,
I get, you think like 2 is more of a surprise?
I think 2 shocked a lot of people on like just how good it was. Myself included. I loved it more than 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
But then you have like the newer ones too. Not the remakes, like the
7 and 8, yeah.
7 and 8, and what was the?
I'm sorry, it was Village.
Village, yeah. Is that 8?
VIII.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean they do really well with those games.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just goes to show a lot of people are looking at it from I would assume a multiplayer standpoint. I can't imagine anyone picking Left 4 Dead because they love the single player concept.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
It's not like
I mean, you have your Back 4 Bloods that spawn off it and stuff like that too, but
I don't necessarily count that, but
no, I'm not saying that's part of
okay.
Left 4 Dead. I'm just saying like if you're looking at other zombie games, there are other ones out there, but that one's very, very good.
oh yeah, so I mean there's a ton of them out there like Dead Island and
Yeah.
well, Jeff was bringing up on our replies there if Metro what is it called? Exodus.
Oh, Metro
Exodus.
I don't think so.
I almost said Metroid.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't count that.
That's not zombies, right?
For me, my favorite zombie game is Call of Duty Zombies.
Well, I was going to put Call of Duty Zombies on there as well. So, I mean, there's a lot more that I could fill up another poll
For sure.
and then do the winners of each.
Out of
going
what
up
you
against-
said, I very much like Dying Light.
Yeah, so you were the lone vote for Dying Light.
Oh, really? Was
Yeah,
that it? Oh,
which
geez.
is
that sucks.
funny.
Dude,
but that's newer.
It has better movement. It was just this open world, awesome. It's fantastic. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. When you're thinking of a zombie game, and this kind of goes to the credit of Left 4 Dead, you have like all the special infected.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're talking about pure zombie experience, you know, that might give you
But
points.
I don't think another zombie. I mean, granted, like Resident Evil has its moments of like terror and different things like that. But like, I mean, Dying Light, when you're at night, like it's scary. Like you're running and you're like vaulting over things as you're just getting absolutely chased.
Well, I mean, the thing about Dying Light is your movement's so good that you feel like you can escape. Whereas in like Resident Evil, you're so slow.
Yeah, it's just
that when this
different
guy
ways
with
of
the
doing it,
chainsaw is coming at you, you're like, "Fuck!"
Yeah, that's a good point.
You gotta move, Leon.
Even 5 I enjoyed
Yeah.
for that. I didn't
Yeah.
like 6 so much, but 5 was fun because it was just like a dumb action game at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a toss up between those two. There was not much for, well, by those two I mean Left 4 Dead and Resident Evil.
Yeah.
But there was not much for Dying Light or Last of Us, which is interesting because Last of Us.
I don't even count Last of Us as zombies because they're just like infected. You know what I mean?
Well, you can say about anything.
Yeah, but it's like
They're dead and they come back to life. It's a zombie. It's the definition,
I don't
right?
think they are though. I don't think they're dead.
Yeah, the parasite killed. They don't like have heads and shit. They're definitely not alive. Well, I mean they are alive, but
yeah,
after
but it's
being
not
dead.
like, oh, I'm dead and now I'm reanimated. It's the fact that like the parasite just, and I could be misremembering this, but I thought the parasite took them over and just basically mutated them to like
maybe.
just-
I feel like I remember sequences when they're like laying on the ground and then they get back up.
I think they're just sleeping. I don't know. I don't know.
But maybe zombies are just sleeping.
Maybe.
All right. Well, we have one more.
All right.
You've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
Nope.
Really?
Yep.
Well, you got to put that on your list.
I have a answer for this though.
All right. Anyway, so what bending is the best? And it looks like we have a toss up between water and air,
Okay. Well then,
which is surprising. Second place is earth, and last is fire, which is
I
shocking.
thought Earth would be the way to do it.
I love firebending. I think it's sweet. But
What's the difference? Like, what's the point of it? Like, you're just manipulating that element.
yeah,
So why wouldn't Earth be just super OP? Like, why wouldn't you just win with Earth?
probably would.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm looking at it from a practical standpoint where it's like, oh, I'm a construction worker. I'm just gonna bend this entire land,
Yeah,
and now
yeah.
guess what? I could do this job that you'd pay millions of dollars for. I can do it in like a night.
I feel like waterbending would be pretty useful.
Yeah, especially during like a tsunami or something.
Yeah.
You just go over like, hey, we're gonna fly you in. Thanks, FEMA, and just the force field.
There you go.
I don't know why you'd fire bend.
Well, it's because I think it's cool.
Yeah.
That's the coolest one in my opinion. Mike was asking us on Twitter if the sub bending counts, like the lightning bending and there's blood bending and stuff. And I am not up to date on my Avatar lore.
What is blood bending? Is that water? Or is
I don't
that
remember.
Earth?
I think it must be water, right?
But if mineral bending is earth bending, and there's a lot of iron in blood,
I don't know. We have to ask him
yeah.
at some point, but
Okay.
I can't remember what the what that entails. So I apologize. It's been a long
whatever.
time.
I think it should
I don't
be
even
earth,
remember
but-
those in the original. Is that stuff that's been added? I'm sure I'll get a text from Calvin about this, but
Yeah.
I like fire. But yeah, water and air seem pretty. I don't know what the most popular would be. I was very shocked that fire wasn't more popular. I thought everyone liked fire.
I think we're growing up. I think as a kid,
What?
as a-
Fire's still sweet. Are you kidding me?
It's okay.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Nah. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do with it. I can at least
Keep myself
understand-
warm.
Sure, but you're not
Light it up.
but you're not
the
creating
night sky.
fire, right? Don't you have to have the element
Yeah, I guess
present
that's
to,
right.
to bend it? So like
Yeah.
you have earth, you have air, you have water. Fire is like it's a very situational party trick.
Yeah.
You know what I
true.
mean? Like yeah, maybe
I
you could
thought
be
they created it.
you could be a baller firefighter.
No, I'm pretty sure they did create it. If I'm remembering, they were throwing fireballs at people. They didn't sit there and like create a campfire.
Okay,
and then
I didn't
they
know what
threw
you were doing
fire
with
at
that
you.
mission. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could either be a pyromaniac or a firefighter.
Yeah, you're right. I could be a baller. That's a good idea. A baller firefighter.
Yeah.
I love how you think of it in like practical terms. And
I'm
I'm
just
like,
trying to think like, okay, if I have this power, what am I going to do with it? I'm like, I'm going to make
see,
money.
this is very telling about who we are as well. Because like I put myself in their world. Like, what would I want if I was in?
No, and I just
Avatar?
rip them into
and
my
then
world.
you're exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, how can I make money off this and help the world? Yeah, that's funny.
In that order.
Yes, tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. Ugh. I hate myself. All right.
Well, dude, everyone's like that.
Yeah.
Or
Deep
most people.
down, sure.
Of course. Well, there's our polls. So now we're up to date on all of our
There's
Twitter
a lot
polls.
of polls, but that was fun.
No, I think they're fun. I like caring for people. It's always, not always, but a lot of the time it's a big surprise.
I don't think I got a single one of those right. So
No, I got a couple.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm a man of the people. But yeah, every Tuesday through Thursday at Couch Code Games.
That's the third plug you did for that. That's
You
some
have
good-
to. It's
good
repetition,
stuff.
man. It's repetition. All right. So Tyler mentioned a lost episode.
We did have a lost episode,
Do you want to go into why it's a lost episode? You might be able to explain it better than I.
Yeah, I mean, so first off, it was like, I all the pre-recorded
Yes.
stuff about the wedding. It's like, no, that didn't do it justice.
It
We
didn't
wanted to
do
talk
it, yeah.
about it. It was a very good time. Secondly, we had our top fives, and our top five was the worst corporate phrases.
Yes.
And it's very tough to thread the needle on like not calling out your corporate place of work and being more general, I guess.
Right.
So in an effort to thread that needle and said needle, we were just going, so we you have to trust us that we did all the legwork and we talked through it. We vented a little bit.
We did.
And then came up with these five.
Yeah, I didn't want to get fired. So what ended
that's
up
the
happening?
crux of it.
It's the crux of it.
I was going to do some editing and realized that that's a lot of
You
editing.
know what? Yeah, and you were getting married, so we did have a long discussion on this. We had a huge list of common
It was like
corporate
118
phrases.
of them that we
didn't
whittled
go through
down.
all of them,
Yeah.
but we kind of scrolled down the list, anything that caught our eye, and obviously came to the table with things we hear on a day-to-day basis or just don't vibe with. So we wanted to do best of both worlds by cutting out the episode and saving our jobs and letting you guys know what we decided upon with our top five.
Yeah, and I think these are pretty common. I think people can sympathize and or relate.
Yes.
to these.
We'll go down the list here and then kind of give you our thought on each. So what do we have at number 5?
All right, number 5, we have Drop Dead, which is essentially the next level of deadline.
Yes.
So I
Drop Dead date.
Drop Dead date.
Drop Dead might mean something.
Sure. And I've vented about this on the podcast before, but it was, it's the next level of deadline. So, we know you're just kidding about the deadline. What do you really mean is the deadline?
Right.
That bugs me to no end.
You'll see a common theme on the list where things lose their meaning.
Yeah.
So through the drop dead date, the deadline loses all meaning and purpose. And it's just why. Just make the deadline when you actually want it. So
and
I don't know when that started.
About pencils down, where it's like, okay, deadline, drop dead, but we still not believing you.
Right.
What's like the pencils down?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
No. Yeah. So that is more of a Tyler thing, I will say, than me.
Yeah,
based off his work.
5. Yeah.
I don't really have deadlines. I mean, I have deadlines, but not as much as you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, number 4.
All right, number 4
This is our wacky spot, so I don't remember if it was wacky or not.
I was muted.
Oh, yes, me. That's the me thing. So in the online environment now, so it's actually weird. Like, I've never had a full-time job in an office.
Yeah.
When I graduated, shortly after was the pandemic, when I graduated college. So I've been working from home since my professional
Which
start.
is wild to think,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So in this virtual environment, obviously WebEx and everything like that is like crucial, and you have mute buttons. And the amount of times people are on mute, and it seems like it's the same people, but maybe it's my imagination. But to me, it's like when it was new, I was like, okay, I understand this, but now it's like we should be used to this.
Yeah.
Get yourself off mute, pay attention to your mute button and things of that nature. I'm not a fan of that one.
I wonder if it's one of those things too, like pick one, right? So either you're on camera
Yep.
and on mute, which is fine.
Yep.
Or if you're not on camera, you should also not be on mute to just give that little extra nudge that you have to pay attention. You have to do that stuff. Now, the only
I don't think there's a button to force everyone off mute.
No, you can mute people though.
Yeah, I know there's the opposite where you can mute everyone.
That would be a huge invasion of privacy.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you imagine being able to right click, turn on camera?
Yeah, and turn off mute. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That would be horrific.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nope, I'm out.
That would be bad.
So
Funny though.
it would be kind of funny. You get some good stories from that. So anyways, that was my number 4. In particular, I hate the double mute. Tyler did not even know what that was. So
well, we don't have headsets like that, so it is literally just the one. I've been on double mute a lot on Discord though, where like I mute my mic and then I forget and I mute it on Discord. So
I can't stand it. So
I'll try to do better. Okay, so number 3 is think outside the box.
Yeah,
and then kind of like sub things or make it pop or punch it up.
Yeah,
or that sort of elevate the creative type of thing.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
Be more expressive.
Be more expressive. We thought that the think outside the box kind of encapsulated everything, but it's just this idea where you're getting asked to do something different for difference sake versus hitting like an objective.
Yeah, for me on this one, the way I interpret this and the reason I don't like this one is because I like specific feedback, specific criticisms. So if you're just saying, okay, I like the idea, but you need to think outside the box more, you're not giving me any constructive feedback at all.
Yeah.
You're just essentially telling me to do it better in a different way. You're telling me to be more creative or whatever, right? Or be different, but that's not giving me any useful information.
Well, it's also within, because like you're going into your music career on that. Like I guess it also depends on where you are, and like if you're in a corporate setting, it's my understanding that you're like, look, you're there to make money, be efficient, and knock things out. So I'm not saying that be more creative or try something new isn't the worst thing in the world, but you still need to accompany that with direction on like, hey, let's try something new. We're really trying to push this color this month or whatever.
Right.
or just something along those lines. They
Well, yeah,
get something to latch onto that we can go off
exactly.
of.
You just give a direction, like you said. Instead of saying let's think outside the box, you say, hey, let's explore this avenue, right? And you give something concrete.
Just give a North Star. So if it's like, hey, I want to like blow up everything, like we're doing an exercise in my world right now where it's like, hey, we're going to redesign like templates and different things like that in the design world.
Right.
So my initial directive is just like, all right, the only stipulation is you can't make it look like it was before. You have to do something new. But the other half of that is focus on hierarchy, focus on legibility, focus, like I'm going to give you things to latch onto and really focus kind of like your thought process on. I'm not just going to say like, make it different and then that's it. So
yep, absolutely. And just the final point on this, who's telling you to do this as well? And this is a big thing in Tyler's world. Well, actually in the music industry as well, a lot of the time, like if you're not an artist,
sure,
and you're very much a corporate type, and you're saying, hey, just think outside the box, but you don't really have a fundamental understanding of what is required to, there might be certain limitations that we have where we can't do that, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of plays a part into that as well, I think.
There's a fine line between breaking the rules when you're a designer or artist or, whatever creative person, and breaking the rules when you don't know what those rules are to begin with.
No,
and I think
sure.
that's the fine line where I'm all for designers coming back and saying like if a designer came up to me and was like, hey, look, I understand these are the guidelines within the digital space. I understand that this is best practice or whatever. But I'm choosing to break this rule for these 12 reasons. 99% of the time, we're like, yep, good, run with it. Like totally get it.
Right.
I think that's important that you have to prove that you understand the material. It's like Picasso or anything. Like, yeah, he could paint a picture that looked like a freaking photograph.
Right.
And then he's like, all right, I'm going to go nuts,
Change the style. Right.
Think outside the box.
Same way in the music world, for sure. Yeah. You have to understand the fundamentals.
The end result might be the same. It's just how you get there. And just this, I think the idea of thinking outside the box is good. Think different, right?
Yes.
So that's the whole Apple thing. That's not the problem. It's the idea that it's this kind of hollow term thrown around in the corporate world.
It's thinking different for different sake, though. Like, you need to analyze, why are we thinking differently?
Yeah.
Is what we're doing not working?
Something's not working.
Yeah, right, exactly. So what's not working? Why are we thinking differently? What kind of, in what way do we want to think differently? You can do more harm sometimes by thinking differently.
Right.
So, okay. That was a long way. Wow.
Yeah, that's we're getting up there.
That was number 3, yeah.
All right. So number 2 is holistic approach.
Yeah, this was a late entry, and this is something that I see in my career path a lot, on how we describe things to the consumer. Mm-hmm. And to me, holistic is supposed to be this all-encompassing. Well, that's what it's supposed to be, right?
That's what the word means, yeah.
But it has seemingly lost its definition throughout the years, and it has become more of this sounds good. So that's why we're saying
it's a big word.
This is like one of those, I'm sure there's a phrase for this, but one of those, words that are highlighted, right? Words that they want to hit. We talk about the whiteboard.
Like a buzzword.
A buzzword, exactly. So we talk about the whiteboard room a lot. The secret whiteboard room in every giant corporation where they have all the stats and they're putting everything up there. I'm sure there's like places where we need to say this word this many times, or we're trying to highlight this word and stuff. I'm sure there's words like that.
Word cloud of
there's these buzzwords on this board that are saying, okay, when we hit this word, we do better. So we're gonna keep slamming it. I think holistic is one of them.
So you're talking more customer facing than within the corporate office?
Well, that's the corporate world, because we analyze a lot of what goes out to the consumer, obviously, and create it and whatever, and then push it out to them. So it's the same. It's in the corporate world. Like when we talk about like our mission statement, we'll say we want a holistic approach to whatever.
We want to do everything good.
Holistically. Yeah. Right, exactly. And it's just like, okay, well, yeah, that's great. Sure. But let's be specific and
we want to make buco dollars. Like that's at the end of the day.
Exactly. So I don't know. Again, to me, I'm very specific oriented. What are we trying to make holistic? And it's an oversaturation of the word as well, specifically. So I hear it so much that it kind of loses flavor.
Oh, I say it all the time.
Right.
Like I'm absolutely a defender of that. So
because it's a good sounding word.
Sure.
It sounds like you hear Tyler in his meeting saying we want a holistic approach to this.
We want to look at it holistically. That's
I feel good.
Sure.
But I don't know. You hear it a million times and you're like, well, okay.
But like when you really dive into like what does it mean? Like I understand it means we want to look at everything at once.
Right.
But
how
is that possible? Can you do it? Is it feasible to even try it? Yeah.
No, absolutely. So that was a pretty big one for me.
Yeah. The number 1 spot.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Circle back.
Oh.
You really do not like this one.
No.
I say it every day, multiple times a day. Sometimes I say it twice in one sentence.
So the reason I don't like this one is, to me, it's an obvious cop-out.
Yeah.
And in most circumstances, I don't know the answer to this. I'm not prepared for that question. Whatever the case may be, I am all about transparency. I am all about being direct, being upfront. If you don't know the answer, just tell me that. Hey, I'm not prepared for that right now.
Right.
Let me do some research and we'll get back together. It's essentially the same thing, but there's like this shorthand, oh, let's circle back to it. Like, oh, I know, but... And Chelsea, it was really funny because we were talking after that episode, and Chelsea, what was the one I was essentially
trying to think,
circle back, but it's even worse.
It's like an agree to...
It was like the most passive aggressive
Yeah, it's like
thing.
you got to be okay with a non-resolution.
Oh, yeah, something like that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why do I have to be okay with a non-resolution?
I think there's a difference between circle back and something like we have to agree for a non-resolution or something, because one is, hey, I'll get back to you. I don't know. I use it all the time.
Of course.
I hate to say that it's kicking the can down the road, but there's so many things that it's like, especially as a manager, you have to like jump through a million different hoops and talk to a million different people until you get like a straight answer, and then again circle back and talk to the person. So
yeah,
I get that, but to tell somebody, hey, you're gonna have to be okay with like a non-resolution, directly saying like, nope, you're gonna be okay with this, that hits differently, and it's
it's like something like, you're gonna have to be okay
with
a non-resolution. And you sit there and nod.
I think we're butchering it, but yeah, generally
I think
speaking,
we're close.
Yeah.
That's the sentiment of it, at least.
I would lose my mind on that.
But yeah, circling back, if you're asking a question, at least have the courtesy to tell me why my question can't get answered.
Sure.
That's all I want. Just tell me you don't know. Tell me we don't have time.
Hate me as a boss, because that's all I
want. Just tell me why we can't get that answer.
The more tell
me it's complicated. Tell me there's a lot of moving parts. I'd rather
as long as you understand
that
there are things happening.
Right.
One thing that I just over the past couple of weeks since we recorded this episode, a bigger conversation is quickly becoming
we
my
need to have a bigger
one
conversation.
Yeah,
wow.
I say it in everything where it's like, oh, this is a bigger conversation. Conversations are happening. People are talking about it. It's like, it's the same thing as circle back, where it's like, look, it's out of my hands, but it's getting talked about.
I say something like, we're working on it, or we're investigating a lot.
It's just,
when we work for big companies, I mean, that's just bound to happen.
Yeah, it's just slow.
There are a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of departments. There's a lot of areas of expertise.
Yep.
That, you need to have this.
Which is valid. Like, it's like having a bigger conversation is never a bad thing.
No.
But
that sounds ominous, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's all that's shorthand for, we need one of every department in the room, so we can actually make.
We need to elevate
decision.
it. Yeah. We need to have a serious look at this. Yeah, for sure.
At the end of the day, it's just transparent. Like, be more transparent.
That's my big thing.
Be honest. Like, get everyone in the same table every time, and I feel like you would run into so many less problems, because it's always like, little meeting here, little meeting here, little meeting here, and it's all follow up, circle back. Like,
well, a lot of the leadership, and I was telling you, we have this person now who's, kind of helping us in our professional development, I guess, and in our
Oh,
leadership
yeah.
area,
Uh-huh.
right? And, the big thing is, people under you want to be heard or whatever.
Yeah.
And transparency is how you do that.
Yep.
They ask a question, you give them an answer, or you tell them why they can't get an answer right now, what you're doing to figure out the answer to their question, right? I don't know. It seems like it's pretty easy to me. I guess some people have a problem with like telling people no or not having everything right there. They feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
Which I guess I can understand, but I try to put myself in their shoes and realize I would much rather the person just be straight up with me than just tell me to circle back.
and that's good advice. I remember like whenever I first got the new gig and like that's something I struggle with and still do, where you don't want to seem, because like it's like, oh, I'm the manager. I have to have it all. I have to know everything. It's just impossible with so many things happening all at once, because now before is like a designer or something, you would be like in the weeds, you would be like kind of ground level, you would be focusing on like one thing and doing it.
Yep.
And then when you get pulled out and you have this kind of like bird's eye view of every little thing going on, there's no way in the world you're going to know every detail about everything.
Right.
Now it turns into, I know enough to be dangerous or enough to point you in the right direction. You become this kind of like traffic person of like, oh yeah, no, I know so-and-so has an answer for you. Let me connect you. And you're like this operator, like doing stuff.
Absolutely.
It's just a different mindset. I don't know if I like it, like more or less than being kind of like hands-on.
Right.
Like I had a meeting today where it was me, a designer and developer. It was the best time I've had in a long time, just because it was literally like 90 minutes of just pure creativity.
Yeah.
And man, did that feel good. You know what I mean? Like just like being able to just block everything else out and just focus on it, where it's like we have no answers about stuff, but that's because we're creating the answers and we're just experimenting. That's fun. Like that's some good stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely kind of sad that a lot of the time when you're moving up the ladder in the corporate world, it's more leadership obviously oriented and corporate stuff. Because if you're a creative person, that's tough sometimes.
I think largely it's worth, I mean, obviously there's like the money involved and everything.
Of course, well, that's what I'm saying. Like you want to make
But-
more money. I mean, look at my parents, for example. They're both chemists.
Yeah.
Okay. They worked in labs. They created things, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have patents on things. They were, creative to an extent.
Sure.
I would say very creative. I'm sure chemistry is a very creative field. And problem solving, things like that. They're now both like in the corporate world where they're just managing people. They have accounts. My mom's pretty much like, I guess, like a salesperson at this point. So it's kind of sad to see like, you have this expertise and then you have to go into this like very white collar corporate-esque scenario because that's where the money is.
And especially whenever it's like you're in a position and then your job as a leader of people is to get like promote them and to build them up and to give them opportunities.
Right.
And that's the thing that like my previous manager was phenomenal about. And like he like almost to a fault, that's all he cared about was like making sure that you had everything you needed. And I mean that's something to aspire to, but it's just like it takes such a distinct way of thinking and working and stuff, and it's a growing experience.
Professional development's huge, but I guess my point is it takes a specific type of person to be a leader, to be in a leadership position. Just like it takes a special type of person to be in a creative position.
Right.
But it seems like our society is focused on funneling in people to the leadership position.
Yeah.
That's where everyone strives to be because that's where the money is. And that's not how it should work. You should have a funnel up through your avenue. So if you're a creative type,
it's just
if you're
those positions don't exist.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like
it's
that's the realm.
sad, and it's just not how it works, right? Because you want your best people to be in charge of 10 people,
right?
So that they can spread their influence on them, and those 10 people can get better, right? I mean, it makes sense. But being in charge of people, like I said, it takes a specific mindset. Not everyone's cut out for it. I know great people who are awesome people. They're very good at things. Not good leaders.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, my one buddy was like, it's like a Michael Scott thing where it's like, hey, you're a really great salesman.
Yeah.
You can be a manager now. And it's like, oh,
Right.
you're not a...
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
And you just see how that goes.
I will say, so this is a shout out to Richard, but I have never met somebody who just instantly can come up with the best analogies or example, like just like off the wall things that like are hilarious and so blatantly true.
Yeah.
And he attributes all of that to just D&D. So he'll like DM stuff and he'll be like, yeah, I just think on my feet. Just like,
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
D&D is an excellent DMing specifically.
Improv, yeah.
Improv, but organizational.
Yep.
Nathan attributes a lot of his managerial skills to D&D.
Yeah.
Because you have to prepare for the session.
Yep.
You got to have your notes ready. You have to have a plan in place. You know things are going to go wrong, so you have to be prepared to think on your feet and give yourself outs.
Yep.
You have to know the material extremely well, the rules. It's a very good exercise in organization and leadership and running a meeting.
The best organizational thing I've ever done is literally have a notebook next to me.
Yeah.
Like a pen and paper.
Oh, it's the best.
I cannot not do that anymore. It's
We
insane.
talked about having nothing will ever replace the pen and paper.
Yeah, you can't. Like I have an iPad sitting there ready for it,
Yeah.
but if it's not if it doesn't feel like it,
Yeah.
you just forget about it. It doesn't matter. We'll get there eventually, I think, but
I don't know. Because it's
We
like
have to.
you can't crumple up your iPad and throw it away.
that's true. But you could also just like delete a page or something. What I'm saying is the feel. Like the
But
feel has to
how
be
are you
the
going to
same.
create the montage of you throwing things into the wastebasket to know that
it's
you're
all
working hard?
symbolic. Yeah, it's just
that's what I'm
symbolic.
saying,
That's it.
man.
Yeah.
They'll have a program where it creates the montage for you.
Ooh, there you go. Or it's all holograms.
It's
or
all
something, yeah.
holograms. Oh man. Well, there's our top 5. You want to
Let's
run
get
it
top
down,
5.
chisel it in,
Oh
as we always do?
sure. It's been chiseled for like 3 weeks now.
I know,
we can
but-
do this. Yeah. So number 5 is Drop Dead. Number 4 is I Was Muted. Number 3 is Think Outside the Box. Number 2 is Holistic Approach, and number 1 is Circle Back.
Yeah, I think it's a good list. I think a lot of people can.
It's a good bad
Understand.
list.
It's a good bad list, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're
I-
offenders of it though. It's funny.
Oh, I use corporate speak in my day to day,
Yeah.
like now, and it's terrible.
It's like a plague.
I feel dirty doing it, but I can't stop.
I try to make a conscious effort not to.
So do I, and it just doesn't work.
Like I was saying, like circle back. I always try to give reasons every time. Like someone was asking me today, "Hey, what's the policy on this?" And I said, "Just came up in our last meeting. I signed someone that we're reaching out to the X department, and I'll let you know as soon as I know."
Yeah.
I could have said, "Well, I'll
Sounds like a
circle
good
back on
manager.
it." Yeah, I don't know. I know what the people want.
Yeah.
Because I've been there. I've been in the weeds, like you said. I've been on the ground floor. And I understand. I know that I've been going too long on this, but I understand why people feel like they need an answer right away, because I've been in that position where it's like, oh, but they're a manager. How do they not know this, right?
Yeah.
Everyone said that.
Yep.
So, but even as a rep, I was like, okay, let me take a step back, and there's more going on. They have more responsibility than
Yep.
just my
Yeah.
question or my concern or issue and stuff like that. So, but I think that was a productive discussion. We'll put a pin in it.
Oh my gosh.
Send you the drop dead ugh.
Aha.
Fucked it
See,
up. I can't even do it.
Can't do
It makes me sick.
Your body rejects the
it
words.
did. It
Yeah.
rejected all of those words. Oh man,
That was good.
that was good. Before we wrap up,
Okay.
I do want to tell you, this has been one of the best months I've ever had.
Oh.
So ready for this? So
Yeah.
the month started with my good friend Tyler's bachelor party.
Yeah.
That first weekend in April. We then moved on to my brother is graduating from Yale, getting his PhD in mass spectrometry.
This is Evan.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's chemistry. Well,
Sure.
actually, they like shoot lasers or something.
Yeah, I think Big Bang did something with that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was completely accurate.
Yeah.
Anyways, so when you're getting your PhD in science and probably other fields as well, you have to do a defense. So you have a project you're working on or a thesis or whatever, and then in front of a board, you kind of defend your work. They ask you questions and things like that about your experiments.
Yeah.
And I guess there's two parts of this. One where it's like the formal process, and then another one where it's more like show, like I guess your friends come and you do the presentation in front of all of them. So I got to go to that. I
Nice.
went to New Haven for that. at Yale and got to see him present everything. I did not understand a lick of it, but it was cool. And then we went to a Rangers game, which is a hockey team. So I got to go to Madison Square Garden, which was my first time there, which was very cool.
Nice.
Although they were doing a lot of construction, so it looked pretty dumpy, but it was awesome.
You're still there. You can say you were there.
I love New York. It's one of my favorite places.
Yeah.
People call me crazy.
New York. That's pretty good. That's a good phrase.
What?
You should coin that. I love New York.
Yeah, maybe put on a shirt, put it on a sock.
Love might be too long. Maybe just put like a heart or something. Anyway, go on.
Right on a sock.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, so I got to go to that, and then we went to Disney because my little brother was...
Oh, you were in Disney?
Yep. I was in Disney right before your wedding.
Yeah.
So went to Disney for my little brother. He's in the marching band in high school. Nice. It's his senior year, so they're like marching down there. So we went down. That was a lot of fun. It was really nice down there. I was actually going to tell you, so the reason I brought this up is I got to go to the new, it's been a long time since I've been at Disney, but they have the Star Wars world now.
Yeah.
At Hollywood Studios, and it was so much fun.
So you did it all then. That's awesome. Did you get like a lightsaber or anything, or any droid? It's just too expensive. Dude,
the custom lightsabers you can get online are better than the ones they have there.
Yeah.
They do have like this really cool workshop where it's like all immersive, and they show you how to build a lightsaber.
But can you do that without building a lightsaber? Like, I would like to see the shop and just be there, but I don't want to pay for a lightsaber.
No, I mean, you can see the shops. You can't see the show, I don't think, unless you're in it. And the waiting list for that is unbelievable because it's this small room.
Yeah.
And it's like a show. It's a production.
Right.
So it's like crazy hard and expensive to get in. But the rides were super awesome.
Like roller coasters?
No. So they have these, like, the Star Wars world is like pretty much like all these immersive rides where you're in this thing, like this box.
Almost like virtual reality.
It's like virtual, yeah. So the one ride is you're like a smuggler and you're in the Millennium Falcon. I think that was my favorite because let me tell you, the thing about Disney as well is all the lines are like thematic, right? Mm-hmm. What do they call them? The Imagine Tears or something?
Sure.
Whatever. They like make all the lines and everything, and it's all in the theme of the ride and all this cool stuff. So when you're in like a Star Wars line, it's like flight suits and blasters are locked in these cages and all these projections and droids in the distance and stuff. So it's really cool. The Millennium Falcon ride, right before you get onto the ride itself, it's pretty much an identical, like you're in the Millennium Falcon. They have the little chess table, the couch, everything looks the same.
That's awesome.
And then you go to your thing and you're in the cockpit and it looks the same. All the buttons work, the levers. During the ride, so I was the pilot, there's like 3 roles. There's like a pilot, engineers in the back, and then you have a gunner, like the ones in the movie. Yeah. And I was a pilot, which is by far the best job. I got to do the light speed stick, pull that down. It was so much. It was unbelievable. It was
I'm
great.
excited for that. We're gonna go in July, so it's gonna be hot. But we were looking at just today. We were looking at like tickets, and apparently like the Fast Pass doesn't exist anymore. But there's like
they call it
like a genie thing or something.
Yeah. You have to pay for it. It's worth it if you have like specific rides you want to do.
Yeah, I figure. I mean, I think it's like $100.
The genie's $15 a day.
Oh, well, something we were doing was 100.
Probably the admission.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna stay there. We're actually staying in Disney for a couple days.
Okay, so I have tips for you.
Okay.
All right, I'll tell the audience just in case you guys go to Disney. So if you stay in the park, you get to go into the park 30 minutes early, and you get to register for your genie an hour early. So I believe you either get to do it at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m., whichever is earlier.
Yikes. Okay.
So you want to wake up early and get your genie because the good rides will be out by the time the normal plebs wake up that aren't staying in the park. Yeah,
dude. Holy cow.
I got the Falcon ride on the genie, and I got like one more, like maybe the Slinky ride. There's like a Slinky roller coaster, which is
from Toy Story.
Yeah, fantastic.
Nice. All right.
Okay, and let me tell you about that one too. This is very cool. So the Slinky roller coaster, Toyland, you're like a toy, so everything's big.
Yeah.
And there's like a bunch of playing cards, like these huge playing cards sitting around, and giant army men, and the lights are all Christmas lights, like kind of wrapped around.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what lights up everything at night, which is super cool. The Slinky Dog ride is a new roller coaster there, And the theme of it is Andy's building one of those like Connect roller coasters in his backyard, and he straps Slinky to it, and it kind of like that's how he makes it go or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're going through the line and you're seeing like the instructions for the roller coaster, and you're seeing like Slinky Dog's box and everything, and it's all opened, and it's just super cool.
It sounds super cool. Like I think that's the thing is I haven't been to Disney in 30 years. It's
Oh my
insane.
God,
I was
it's
four.
gonna blow your
I was
mind.
4. So it's like I don't remember anything about it. I can't wait. And like in all honesty, like but just between Star Wars and like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And then to think that there's everything else too, I'm very excited.
Yeah. So anyways, my April Disney, and then I came to your wedding.
So you had
And that's been my April. Yeah.
it's busy. See, that would drive me like
It was very busy. I was exhausted,
yeah.
but it was worth it.
Like
I had
exhausted.
I had a really good time with everything. It was just so much fun.
So what are you doing tomorrow? Like what's the next thing? Or do you finally get to like
Sleep.
relax? Yeah.
My brother's birthday is at the end of the month, so he's coming into
Okay,
town, and
nice.
we're gonna do something. So
This weekend?
no, next week.
Okay, so you have like an off weekend and then
I have an off weekend where I get to do something
Yeah.
cool. Actually, baseball starts this weekend, so Sunday I'm gonna be playing baseball.
Nice.
So it's a very eventful month. Anyways, I wanted to share with you my April. Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Thanks for
You're-
thank you for being a part of it.
Of course.
You were very
2 of them were
you
yours,
emotional towards the end of the night. Which
Which one?
could be alcohol. You might not even remember. Or you're just like, look, I know I'm a little drunk, but
Oh,
this
no,
is,
I
it's
remember.
really great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very nice. I was touched.
I always do that though. I was
Well,
saying that to
yeah,
everyone.
We went to the
Doesn't mean I don't mean it though.
No, and that's totally fine. Like if that's what it takes you to open up and be your true
I came up to you
self.
guys early on too.
You did.
And while I was a little bit more coherent. I'll let you know.
No, you guys were
And I told Chelsea that her wedding
fantastic.
reminded me of the Harry Potter wedding between Bill and Fleur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And under
In the tent. Yeah. That's a cool one. Minus the Death Eaters. But yeah, we didn't have many of them.
No, it just rained.
And I beat Mike and Gerard at cornhole twice.
That's a big deal. It was
It was
you and
huge.
Kyle
Me
on
and
the same
Kyle,
team?
yeah.
You guys played a long time.
That
was like all night.
We were running the table.
Yeah.
And we just kept winning. We were magical. It was a lot of fun. I was having.
Hey, I'm glad you had fun.
It was a lot of fun. All right. Well, there's another padded 20 minutes. I was afraid we were going to be super early, but there we go.
Solid.
I can always find something in the back pocket.
Easy.
Well, that's all we got.
Yeah.
Not too bad for not doing this for
Back
a while.
in the saddle. Yeah.
Like riding a bike, they say.
I'm not good at riding
Saddle,
a bike.
bike. There's something there.
Yeah. No,
Similar.
I'm bad at bicycling.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was possible.
Yeah, well, like back when I was a kid, I would be like taking turns real low, like almost like a motor, like low to the ground and stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm like standing upright and I'm like wobbling and it's terrible.
I think a lot of life is confidence.
Confidence?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm going to get on this bike and I'm going to just ride it.
I think if you were more confident, you'd be a lot better.
Probably.
Because like when I was playing cornhole at your wedding, I was crushing it. I was drunk. I didn't care.
Yep.
No inhibition.
You
I didn't care about
knew
missing in front of everyone. I didn't care. I was just
Yeah.
going for it. I was playing cornhole at the office. We were doing like this team building, so we were playing cornhole in the parking lot, which was kind of funny. Horrible.
Well,
Sober in front of my boss. Terrible.
it's because you
confidence.
knew
I know.
that
It's like
people are going to judge you. And
Yeah, I hated it. Felt bad.
Sorry, buddy.
Well, on that horrible note, be more confident, people.
That's a good note.
Yeah, that's a good note. Anyways, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, we really appreciate it as always. Check us out on couchcompany.games for all of our links there. Check us out on Twitter, specifically for our polls at couchcogames.
Yep.
4 times. We have a poll Tuesday through Thursday. We have a podcast every Monday. And some other goodies sometimes. So just be on the lookout.
Yeah. I have a computer coming at some point. Like,
Yes. I'm excited for that.
We'll stream
Coursera,
some
right?
stuff. Yeah, well, we didn't. Oh man, we don't have time for this. But
Okay.
basically, I bought a computer.
Yes.
a very good computer.
Yes.
I got it. It had a disconnected fan wire.
Oh,
Normally,
no.
that would take like a minute to fix.
Yeah.
Couldn't fix it because it was all like tied in there. I'm not gonna rip that thing open.
Nope.
So I learned my lesson. It's sent back, and
What's the lesson?
don't don't buy that small, tiny little tower.
Oh, I see.
I loved it. It
Yeah.
looked awesome. I
Yeah.
thought it's gorgeous. It felt premium.
I was saying that's too small though.
The problem is, at the end of the day, because like that's going to be for 10 years, right? Like I'm trying to buy this thing that's
Right.
going to last me a decade. So if I have to send it in for every little thing, and like Corsair, the guys that I talk to, super nice, but they do nothing over the phone. It's all through email. And it takes like 2 days for a response. So especially when something's broken and you just spent like a crazy amount of money on something, not worth it. So I returned that. I started looking up some parts like I vowed I never would again.
Oh no, you're gonna build?
I
You're out of
think
your
I
mind.
might. We'll see.
Is it because Nate got a 3080 and you're like inspired?
No, I was doing this right before he sent me because I was gonna give him my 2080 if I got that new card.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like
in Alienware, man.
they're starting to. I don't like the aesthetic of the Alienware. It doesn't fit with me. Like I was just telling Nate that where they just came out with a monitor. So I am thinking about getting an Alienware monitor.
Yeah.
It's an ultra wide and it's an OLED monitor.
32?
It's 34 technically,
34?
but it's ultra wide, so it's not going to be like super tall.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But it's back ordered till like June.
OLED.
Yeah.
4K?
No, it's ultra wide, so it's like a what is it, like 34 something by 1440.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's just about, but
You said ultra wide and I'm just like glossy. I don't know what that means.
yeah, it's essentially like two
aspects
24
of-
inches
yeah,
together.
That must be like really aggravating because I know when I'm like looking up wallpapers, I guess they do have like
There's
ultra
a
wide.
whole section of ultra wide
Yeah?
specific wallpapers.
Maybe I'm not
yeah.
in the ultra wide section of the internet.
The hardest thing with the ultra wide is you can't really play too many, especially if you're like streaming or recording or something.
Right.
You can't play too many things full screen. Like you have to get okay with like,
Yeah.
I'm going to play windowed and all my other stuff's going to be around. It's essentially two monitors, but it's one monitor.
Yeah, I hate that.
So do I, but it's an OLED and I really want an OLED.
You
that's
can't
not a
find
TV.
another OLED?
Well, they're all
That's-
TVs. The smallest OLED you can get that's not a monitor. So this technology is specific where it has less burn-in chance, and it's designed specifically differently than like LG's OLED TVs.
Yeah.
And I can bore you, but essentially what OLED TVs do is they shine everything through like white and then like kill out different lights.
I see.
Right? For each pixel. And what this one does is it shines blue light and then filters blue light based off of different things. So you're going to get better yellows. There's some benefits to it. At the end of the day, it's better color theoretically.
Right.
But it's in a monitor format. So
What's the refresh on it?
175.
Wow.
Or if you do, it's 175, but I forget what it is. Like if you turn something on, which you would turn this feature on, I forget what feature it is.
Yeah.
Then it goes down to 144. Still 144.
144 is perfect.
And the input lag is next to nothing. And because it's an OLED, the black to gray to like it's instant response. Like, it's better than you're gonna get on a monitor.
Right.
So for me, I'm just like that's the end game. Is an OLED monitor is just going to look better. Like no light bleed, no nothing. It's just perfect blacks. So then if you're playing a game that you don't want ultra wide or doesn't support ultra wide, and it's just like doesn't matter because the two black bars on either side are like black,
Yeah.
like solid
Yeah,
black.
right.
It's not like you have some light bleed or it's
Right.
fading in. It's just pitch black.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I'm looking at
You're
now.
excited.
But I am,
Yeah.
but now I got to look at parts again. And now I'm in
Yeah.
the thing of like, maybe I just keep my 2080 Ti. That's my graphics card. Computers are actually fairly affordable whenever you don't have to pay for a graphics card to put in them.
Yeah.
So if I just get a new case, a new
Start building it up,
processor,
I
new
see.
RAM, DDR5, all that jazz, and then just throw my old
Tyler,
card
you
in.
disappoint me, my man. I thought
We'll
you
see.
joined me in the pre-built.
I might. There's
Yeah.
still a chance
There's
that
still a chance.
so Corsair has a Vengeance computer, and this is the last thing I'll say now because I know we were running over.
And you were worried that we wouldn't
I
have
know.
to talk about.
They have a Vengeance computer
Right.
that uses the case that I want, which is like the airflow. It's like the 4000D airflow case or whatever. I like it. The problem is, if you buy it pre-built, it has a Vengeance logo on the front panel,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right, well, I could buy that, and then I could pay for like a quote unquote replacement panel.
Yeah.
Do I really want to spend that money, or because like you're paying extra technically? Because I priced them out, and you're paying like maybe like $500-600 more for a pre-built.
Yep.
Then if you source all the parts yourself, it's just a matter of finding all the parts and making sure
Yeah.
that they work. And
Well, they're out there. I mean, Nate got a 3080.
yeah, at the end of the day, it's just like
Great.
I I tried to go tiny. Again, love the form factor. It was amazing, but
You just can't go that tiny.
you can. It's just, I don't want, if I'm paying that much money, I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
And if
You should have just plugged it back in.
What do you mean?
You said the fan was unplugged or whatever, right?
No, there's a wire outside of it. It's not like, oh, I didn't want to plug a fan in. Like the cable
That's
for
what
the
you're
fan,
saying.
4 little wires go into the header.
Yeah.
And one of them was like ripped out.
Oh.
So like it wasn't like I couldn't. The only way to replace it is to replace the
whole fan,
the cord, like the
whole
adapter,
cord. Okay,
which I had, which was fine. But it's
you don't
like
wanna-
zip tied, and
yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm good.
They do a great job with those pre-builts. They make it like
They do. It
spectacular.
looked great,
Yeah.
but I'm just not going to do that. I'd rather buy all the
yourself.
parts, do it myself, and I know every little crevice and thing that I did.
Yep, that's if you have the time, patience, and money. Well,
I
not
got
even
like
money. It's
2 of those
less
things.
money. So I mean,
It's a little less money. Like, let me put it
Time
this
and
way.
patience. I should say.
I could just doing by myself. I'm automatically saving like $1,200.
Yeah.
Which is the cost of an OLED monitor. So it's like
that's a good justification.
Yeah.
When you throw in the
for
monitor.
the same performance.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway,
There you go.
all right.
That's it.
You want to do the spiel again, or are we just gonna be like,
No,
all right, peace?
that's it. You heard all this stuff. I'm not doing it again. I don't get paid enough for that. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Thanks for joining us on the couch.